things. Obviously, Chelsea see the number 9 shirt and it's a curse. Someone like Ange, like Ronaldo's only, I think, 22 goals away now from that 1,000 goal mark.
Yeah.
Probably going to be in charge for a moment like that. You know, the legacy that he'll get.
Saudi Arabia is going in a complete different direction now. We're attracting world-class younger players, which is exciting for the kingdom, and hopefully that will continue.
Hello and welcome to Al-Majlis podcast, powered by Break. Please like and subscribe across all of the social channels and follow for more information from the company. This week I'm joined again by Alex and by Charlie. Hello guys, how you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not
Good,
bad.
good.
It's getting a lot hotter in Riyadh at the moment, isn't it?
Boiling. Yeah, it's going to be a long few months.
Yeah.
I think till best part of October, that's when it will start to drop. So looking forward to that. Being able to spend some more time outdoors.
Yeah.
I've got more things open up as well. At least you can more stuff to go do when it's winter time.
Absolutely.
Can't do it during the summer.
But the other thing is obviously now we're a few weeks away from the World Cup, and we're also around 2 weeks away from the Premier League, the Saudi Pro League starting. So it's a pretty, bad time in terms of not really being able to watch much entertaining and competitive football, should we say. Obviously pre-season is in full flow. I think you boys are out in America at the moment, so the time of matches are not suited to you.
I'm a bit adjusted to it now, so
yeah, I suppose it's not bad. Well, Chelsea have done the opposite because Chelsea have gone down to Malaysia and Singapore, so we're playing at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning Saudi time. I'm trying to wake up and
get a game in before work.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think you boys are out in Scandinavia, right?
Yeah, combination of Finland, I think Norway and Sweden.
Yeah.
So already started against Wrexham.
Yeah.
Which was a defeat.
Great result.
Great start. Fills me with confidence for the rest of the season, but we'll see. It's early days.
It's Deadpool. How can you win?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, for anyone who's watching, obviously, Charlie, you're a Liverpool fan, I'm a Chelsea fan, and Alex is a United fan. So,
quite the setup.
We've got, a few years ago, we was the predominant teams, right? We'd be arguing about who's going to win the league and who's going to do that. Now we're probably going to be arguing this season who's going to finish 4th or 5th.
Yeah.
So it's a fall from grace for sure. But look, obviously, as I say, whilst we're in this kind of waiting period, I thought this episode would be quite good to kind of go over some of the things that get you excited for the season. Personally for me, I'm a big fan of seeing like the new kits that come out for the clubs. Obviously, Chelsea this season, we brought out kits with no sponsor again. So it'll be interesting. I don't know whether to wait a few more months to buy a shirt, or do I just go and get the plain kits? Charlie, it'd be great to hear, some of the things you look forward to.
Pre-season, just for me, it's when you're bringing in players that you don't usually watch. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, okay, well, I was going to say Isak, but I've not really watched him much either. But your Van Dijks, your McAllisters, everything, you see them week in, week out.
Yeah.
For example, one I've said, Rio Engamo.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll get a lot of game time during the pre-season. So it's probably the main reason I'll tune in at stupid o'clock.
Yeah.
But to watch the younger players, for us, we've got the Rio, we've got Jadon Dans, we've got people that they've not broke into the squad.
Yeah.
I mean, you could maybe say so a little bit for Rio, but not a first team player. But you got players that now will get the opportunity to prove themselves, see how they are. Some different youngsters that will see how they fare up against some different opposition. See if they can break way into the team. That's what I enjoy most about pre-season, definitely.
And it's huge for the young players as well, because it's their opportunity to, against the big boys of the team as such, to see how they compare and where they fit in potentially to the starting 11 and the squad. And it's kind of their audition as such for the summer, and it's kind of, are they going to go out on loan for those players that might be going out on loan, or some might be getting kept on as part of the squad. So, it's an interesting time for those younger players and squad players to see where they sit.
I think as a Liverpool fan as well, obviously, we've got quite a few leaving this season. It gives a lot of time, or opportunity, I should say, for someone to make a point during pre-season. Obviously, it's friendly games, but if they can show that they should deserve a place, at least in the full squad, not necessarily the starting 11, then it'll be great. I mean, for me, I really hope Rio is a starter next season. It's one of them difficult ones. You don't want to play him so much that he starts getting injury prone or anything. But when I look at the left wing position for Liverpool, I'm not filled with confidence. Not after last
it's
season.
an opportunity, as you say.
Yeah.
And obviously, again, another area of kind of this time of the season is new managers, right? So we've all officially got new managers. I know that you've had Carrick for around 6 months already, but you know, as the official full-time first transfer window, which again you've done early business. Chelsea are, you know, in the process of doing some more business as we usually do. There'll be a few to leave the door, but obviously Morgan Rogers for transfer record. And then I think obviously Xavi Alonso, which again is an interesting one because there was a lot of talk about he'd be, I mean, obviously I don't think people expected Real Madrid to go as bad as it did. Was it as bad when you look at the comparison of Arbeloa afterwards? You know, we don't know, but there's, you know, those sorts of changes. So to have Alonso for us, and I'm excited for Alonso because he's known as a manager, not as a head coach. It means that he's making the decisions, and I think that's a big part. I think is Carrick the manager or is he the head coach?
I think Carrick's got influence over the decisions
which is
with respect to the players that brings in, and I think. But again, there's always been that issue with Man United the last few years, and managers have come out and said this, is that they've had their priority list of signings. And they haven't necessarily got that due to commercial reasons, whether it's balancing the books because of financial fair play, whether it's cash that we've got in the black bank, whether it's wages as well. So whilst Carrick is sort of in control of the football and operations, I wouldn't say he's got the full autonomy that maybe other managers have, which is an issue, but it's not a Michael Carrick issue. I think that's something that comes from the top at Manchester United and how it's set up through, you know, Jim Ratcliffe.
Yeah. And then obviously Iriola for you guys. I mean,
he'll be a manager. I think like us as Liverpool generally do give a lot of the decisions to the manager. So I've not seen much activity in regards to transfers, which is a bit concerning because, like I say, we've got a lot of places that need filling. A lot of positions. So it's still early in the transfer window. There's still a lot of time. In Liverpool aren't the team to rush into transfers. They never have been. They've always tried to be smart with transfers. I think past couple of seasons, maybe that's not been as much as back in the Klopp kind of time. But I'm excited for Iriola. I think he did quite a good job with Bournemouth with what he was given. Now he's given better players. He's given hopefully more money to work with. It's exciting. Like I said to you earlier, though, I could not predict at all how next season will go. With Iriola, I think it's too early to predict with it in regards to we don't know how the signings will end up. But I am excited to see what may possibly happen with Iriola at the Realm.
No, absolutely. Again, I think he's proven himself. Same way Carrick has proven himself, you know, and Alonso. I mean, what I'm actually quite excited about with Alonso is we don't have anything else to focus on other than the League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Prem. And obviously, by Leverkusen, I'm by no means saying we're going to go and do what they've done, but you know, the fact that you don't have the surrounding noise with everything else, which again I think is half the reason why you boys have gone and done such early business and getting in. I'd say, you know, Andre Santos, Tielemans, you know, even Carl Darlow. Like these sorts of players are, you know, they've played in the Prem for many seasons. Obviously, Santos not as many as, you know, the other two, but have proven their worth. Are they league-winning signings?
I think it's an area of the pitch, the centre mids in particular, where we're extremely weak. We've got players that, you know, are coming out, such as Casemiro, Ugarte for a long-term injury. So you've only really got Kobe Mainu in there because Bruno Fernandes, your Mason Mounts, Cunha, they're obviously a lot more attacking midfield players. So actual centre midfield players or defensive midfield players, really short by 2 or 3 players. So I think that's an area of the team which we need to improve. That's an area of the team where we need to get strength and depth. And I do think those signings most certainly strengthen that area of the team. I think could do with one more.
Yeah.
Probably someone that's a bit more of a higher caliber player, someone that is going to be your starting centre midfielder with Kobe Mainoo. But yeah, and that's why I think we've gone for those sort of players. We've got Bindir, the goalkeeper, that's looking to go out. We've got a guy called Vitek who's done a fantastic job in goal in the Championship, but he'll probably get moved on. So we needed to get Darlow in, someone with Premier League experience. But I think the rest of the team's quite strong. A lot of our attacking players, they're new signings. They had fairly decent seasons, so we've got to give them some more time to gel and bond together. So I think there's twofold. I think we need to improve the central midfield area of the team, which we are doing in terms of numbers and personnel. But I agree with you. For us to go from finishing third to competing with titles, I do think we are probably short of a world-class centre midfield player to really, mount a challenge.
Yeah. You're not talking about Mason Mount here, are you?
No. Well, they were thinking of dropping him in deeper into midfield, but he's too lightweight, unfortunately. Yeah. We need someone that is a lot more mobile, less prone to injury, box to box.
Yeah.
How many of those are around? I'm talking like we can just
tick in every box.
I know, but they're not. So look, there's still a lot of time left in the window, so we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and obviously in terms of again this time of the season, I like to see, obviously, again we've got new clubs that have come into the Prem. Obviously Ipswich were there 2 seasons ago, but Hull have been out for around 10 years now. Coventry have been out for around 25. So, I start to look around, especially with Coventry being a Chelsea fan, Frank Lampard, at the Realm. I'm always a big, fan of watching, people like what he can do this season. So I start looking at the fixtures. So I think Chelsea Coventry worked out at a time that I might be back in the UK.
Nice.
Which I'm again, I start to look at, I think I always look at first game, last game, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, my birthday, which is in February. I'm always looking at what's around then and anything else. So I think that's another exciting part. But with the new teams that have come up, do you see any of the 3 being able to stay up this season?
I think so. I don't see Hull staying up.
Yeah.
Lampard's done a great job at Coventry, so it's possible.
Yeah.
I think if anyone, it will be Coventry that stays up. But it's easy to say they'll all go down that went up. But how many times has that happened? I think it's only once in the past, however many, a long time.
Yeah.
That it's actually happened. So I think one of them will stay up. For me, if I had to put my money on it, I'm putting it on Coventry.
Yeah.
You never know. It's Premier League.
I mean, Gary O'Neill obviously is the manager of Ipswich, and he's had a good, successful managerial career with the teams that he's been at. I'm not saying he's gone and won trophies and things like that, but he's been able to cement Premier League positions. I think Ipswich have made a few good signings as well throughout the transfer window, which helps. They're probably leading in terms of the players sign and things like that, but I can imagine Coventry are going to utilise Lampard's connections and bring a lot of players in kind of last minute on loans and a few permanent signings. So look, it'll be interesting to see. But I mean, yourself, do you think anyone can stay up?
As long as Ipswich go down, obviously. Speaking on behalf of my my mates back at home, being from Norwich, so obviously they're quite jealous in terms of obviously last few years. Norwich have always had the upper hand really over Ipswich. But then obviously last season or season before, recent years, shall I say, Ipswich have kind of overtaken Norwich again to being the number 1 team in East Anglia. Well, for now anyway. So I can't see it, but again, who knows? We've still got it. It'll all come down to the transfer window and what happens. It can be injuries at the start of a season, losing big players. Also, as well, how much will the board of these clubs stick by the managers? All right, will the manager, if the managers do go through 4 or 5 games on the bounce where they get beat, Do they get the backing? Does the manager get the backing from the board, or are they going to get rid of them, which is then going to cause further disruption to the squad, etc. So
it becomes a repetitive cycle as well.
Exactly, and it will be interesting to see how this happens. Is when we get our first sacking of the season, how many teams will follow suit? So I think that's going to be intriguing as well. But yeah, I can't. To be honest, there's none of those teams I look at and think they're going to stay up. You know, they're going to be in and around there at the end of the season, and be interesting to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I think obviously with like the new clubs, and again another thing for me is like new kit numbers. You know, I remember like the first match of the day. You know, the first match of the day of every season, and it was like, you know, watching. I don't know, it would have been Sunderland back in the day versus Bolton, and I'm seeing that like the new striker's got the number 20 shirt, and you're kind of like, oh, it's going to be, you know, is that going to be a good influence for him this season? Things like, obviously Chelsea see the number 9 shirt and it's a curse. So, you know, you start to look out, and you also see like certain players that would follow like a 23 because Beckham's their idol, or what, you know, things like that. So I think that's always, again, that's probably the more exciting things that I think about when you get to this part of the season. But also I think it's just the waiting, right? The waiting now is the part that I'm, you know, just excited to get into now. So, yeah. And obviously away from the Prem, the Saudi Pro League also starts the second week of August as well. So a few changes there. Obviously Ange Postecoglou has come in as manager of Al-Nassr, which is a pretty exciting move again, obviously for the Kingdom to have someone who only won the Europa League 2 seasons ago. So pretty big statement. So how do you think he'll fare over here?
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he gets on, really. I think he was quite unfortunate with what happened at Spurs.
Yeah.
Obviously won the Europa League, did get kept on the following season. You saw that Tottenham made no real improvement from the, you know, appointing their new manager. So you could feel that he was slightly hard done by, but I think it's great for the Saudi Pro League to be bringing in this kind of calibre of manager, winning the Europa League like what he done. So I think it's exciting. I think, you know, it's a good time for him to come in. He's coming into a club that's just won the championship.
Yeah.
Obviously now it's taking things to the next level and trying to win the Asian Champions League, and I think that's another reason why Cristiano wants to stay on now. You know, he's hungry. He's got that league title, and now it's the Champions League. So it's fascinating to see how it gets on.
Well, exactly.
The Champions League doesn't matter the continent.
Yeah, no, and also, I mean, for someone like Ange, like Ronaldo's only, I think, 22 goals away now from that 1,000 goal mark.
Yeah,
probably going to be in charge for a moment like that. You know, the legacy that he'll get, and how quickly, Chad, do you think we could potentially see Ronaldo getting that 1,000 goal mark?
Probably about mid-season.
Yeah.
I'd say. I mean, how many did he score last season?
It's got to be in the 30s with like
he scored quite a few, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it'll be interesting because I think this season, again, in the kind of the group stage games of the Champions League, would he want to be playing normally? Probably not. He'd want to be reserving his body for, you know, the bigger games and the more important games for the league. But actually, you know, it's a striker's dream to be playing against, you know, a smaller side from a Japan or Iraq or whatever coming into Saudi, and he's probably going to want to look to maybe break that duck as quickly as he can.
Yeah, I think as well you've got they have, you never know with these Saudi clubs who they're going to sign. It kind of just happens like that.
Yeah,
and obviously they brought in Ange Postecoglou like that.
Yeah,
they're bringing in players just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So you don't know who they're going to. Obviously, they've lost Duran.
Yeah.
So that's one of the star players.
Did you say lost or gained upon his exit? I mean, you've seen the number of clubs in which he's had over at the age of 22.
Yeah.
Is it a loss of talent, or would you say it's more of a good outgoing to have and get him out of the dressing room, perhaps, and that kind of attitude that he might have, and sort of rubbing people up the wrong way?
Yeah, he just reminds me of like a career mode dream. You know, when I played FIFA back in the day, and it was just like every season I'd just be like, right, well, I'm done with this team now. Let me move on to the next one. So yeah, obviously it's whether, again, I say Alex, it might not be a loss, but I think, I think he's a good player, and he was the right option for the Saudi League at the time. But it maybe just hasn't worked out with his characteristic and the personality that he brings as a young kid. But I'm sure, again, he's 22. Going to be 23 this season. He's still got many years to kind of find a form somewhere he can be happy and build out from there. And obviously, I mean, look, there's other teams like Kadzia this season. They've got a strong, management wise, they've got Brendan Rodgers, and then behind the scenes they've got, I know James and Tom. James is the CEO and Tom's the chief commercial officer. And great guys, come from great backgrounds in the European world. So, as a club, they just look stronger and stronger. I think they'll be, mounting a challenge. What about Hilal and Al Ali? Obviously, Al Ali have won Champions League twice in the last 2 years. Al Hilal are, the kingdom's team, should we say? How do you think that they could fare this season?
They'll give him a good try, Al Nassr. I mean, last season was interesting.
Yeah.
I think it will be more of the same this season.
Yeah.
Al Hilal, I'd say that is one of my more favourite teams in Saudi. So I'm hoping they do quite well. I'm hoping to take the title back.
Yeah.
Don't know if I'll get likes for that very much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
For you as a United fan, obviously history of Ronaldo, surely you've got to be rooting for Al Nassr this season.
Sure, yeah. And just for him, really, it'd be really nice to see him get that Champions League title. I know last year, the competition, the final they got to, was quite the full AFC. But I think they'll be ready to give it a try. Going back to what you're saying about Al Hilal, it's great to see that the Saudi is still competing with clubs worldwide in terms of attracting the best players in. You've seen it today pretty much, haven't you, with Somerville? I know, a player that's on Manchester United's radar, a player that's on AS Roma's radar, and now there's a good possibility of bringing him across to the Saudi League, and he was outstanding for West Ham next season. So I really hope, for Ronaldo's sake, it's a good last season perhaps for him, but equally as well, the other clubs, they're more than capable of providing some stern competition also.
I think on that, the more people they're bringing in, the more who will want to come as well. I don't think it's near people said, when they first started signing people, it'll only last a season or two. Yeah. They've disproved that already. Yeah. I mean, every season you're getting these big names that European clubs who are trying to sign, and they're still making way to Saudi.
And it's the age of these players as well.
Now it's getting lower.
Originally, it was right. We'll get some players in that coming towards the end of the peak of their careers, and now it's, before it was the USA, then it was Saudi Arabia, but Saudi Arabia is going in a complete different direction now. We're attracting world-class younger players, which is exciting for the kingdom, and hopefully that will continue over the coming years.
And I think they compete with, nowadays they're competing with the Bundesliga, with Serie A, and they're probably paying better salaries. That, let's be honest, especially with the tax-free element of it, it's probably a more lucrative area. So do I think it will trump the Premier League? No. So I don't think there's anything that can. But the French league, if you've got the opportunity to sign for a mid-table French team or a top of the table Champions League playing Saudi team, where you're probably going to be earning 20,000-30,000 euros extra a month.
Yeah,
kind of think where you're going, right? It's
for sure.
It's a good option, and also think whilst we're away from the World Cup, I think they had the Saudi Pro League had the third most players from a league playing in the tournament. So it's obviously again, Saudi have 26 players, and I think 25 of those were play here, and then Abdul Hamid plays for Lens. But the rest of them are obviously here, and to have 25 other players from outside shows the development of what's going on here.
The viewership's only going up as well. I mean, I saw numbers a few days ago. Compared to last season, it shot up as well.
Yeah.
And it will probably do the same again this season. I mean, when you bring Ronaldo to a league, which was always the start of the big project. When you bring Ronaldo to a league, then you've already started it. Now they're just building on it.
Yeah.
You bring in all these different players, you're bound to just keep the viewers are just going to keep going up.
And how motivating must that be for these young Saudi players as well?
Yeah.
In and around the training ground, and then you see the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo's, Somerville's, Mitrovic's, etc. around. These guys are then training with these guys every day, and they're only going to get better. Not just from a footballing sense, but a character perspective as well, and wanting to learn and want to develop. So it'll be interesting to see the indirect impact as well on the young Saudi players and the generations that are we're now going into, and seeing how that sort of transfers across to the national team, and to see what successes the Saudi national team have from bringing up Saudi talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, we're only a few weeks away now, guys. So hopefully, and maybe we can look to try and get to a couple of games this season. Maybe we'll have to go see some of the bigger games, and we'll have to go and watch some of the mid-table, bottom-table half teams.
Sure,
that we can kind of get our teeth stuck into and review on properly. But look, thanks for joining again, guys. Really appreciate it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to all of the Coral Break channels, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Ma salama.